Blech. Mr. Crocket, directed by this guy, Brandon Espy. And oh, I don't know what I just did. I just did something. Man. This was a Hulu. This was like a Hulu exclusive original, whatever you want to call it. You know, for a while, Hulu had teamed up with Blumhouse, and they were doing those really they were almost like made for TV horror movies or whatever you want to call them, those really low budget things. And they were great, man. Like it was an anthology series, the After Dark, I think, something like that. It was an anthology series, and it was a lot of fun. And they did one a month. That's what they were doing. They did one a month. So we had like, they did that twice. So we had like 24 original Hulu horror movies. And I feel like Mr. Crocket, kind of is like a step or two above those in terms of like production and story and quality. Mr. Crocket feels like a brand new, like monster slasher, whatever you want to call it, in the pantheon of Jason, Freddy, Michael, Chucky. Like, let's add Mr. Crocket. And obviously he's supposed to be a take. He's kind of like a black Mr. Rogers, fused with Freddy Krueger. He's a disgraced child show host who dies by some sort of cop out sort of situation, if you know what I mean. Goes to hell, makes a pact with the devil, and through TV signals, he abducts children, and he sacrifices bad parents because of his own childhood trauma. It's a really dark movie. It's really dark. He sacrifices them to Satan or whatever. And so it's basically like a derivative of Freddy Krueger. It also felt like, they did those like knockoff Tales from the Hood movies. Like they did two more of them. I think it was by the original filmmakers, but they kind of had like a more made for TV. They were kind of like a straight to video vibe. They didn't feel as cinematic the way the original Tales from the Hood did. Tales from the Hood was so good. But Tales from the Hood was centered around like, black centric stories. And I feel like Mr. Crocket would fit perfectly in like, if you did like a Tales from the Hood anthology, Mr. Crocket would be one of those stories. And then this guy, Brandon, spun off that story into a feature length film. And that's what this is. And it's, dude, there's like a lot of practical monster puppets. The monster puppets are grisly, lots of gore. The synopsis: a single mother thinks she's found the key to calming her child down, a VHS copy of a strange children's program named Mr. Crockett's World. However, a darker, bloodier secret wants to invade their home from the inside of the tape. And it's just great, man. It's just great all around. Like really, really good, fun, entertaining horror film. Like, give us a franchise. Okay. I could do with Mr. Crocket 2 or Mr. Crocket 3. Maybe they'd have to change up a little bit. Like you have to give us like you have to like James Cameron the story, like in the way that James Cameron took Alien and made Aliens and like expand the mythology further with Mr. Crocket. Maybe we get a team up movie. I mean, that would never happen, but give me a team up movie of Mr. Crocket and Freddy Krueger, right? I mean, just great. It's like, how can we take Freddy Krueger and kind of like, evolve it, condition it, shape it in a way where we're doing something new with it. And Mr. Crocket is the answer. Like, it's a wonderful prism to project, a dream demon through. In this case, it's not so much dreams. It's the TV set. And I love the idea that he operates in signals that are like all around. It kind of adds like this interesting side, whereas like Freddy Krueger operates in dreams, and we don't understand dreams, or we don't understand dreams in the way that we understand like TV signals from like a scientific perspective. So the idea that like he can traverse these TV signals, and he's genuinely terrifying. There's like he's kind of like, the actor's aged in this makeup, and there's like a nutty professor. There's like an Eddie Murphy nutty professor quality, Mr. Crocket. And it's really unnerving, and he's just legitimately scary. And, these parents, and they're always like one of them is he's a beater. One of them is like a junkie. And these parents, they just get eaten and ripped to shreds by these, he's also kind of like Pee-wee from Pee-wee's Playhouse, right? There's some Pee-wee in there too. Cause like and there's this really sad part, spoilers. A guy who's pretending to be a child, one of the parents of the children turns out that he is like the central boy, but because he's grown up now, Mr. Crocket rejects him. So he gets eaten alive by this teddy bear that he idolized as a kid on his TV. Really, really dark. I love, man, I loved where this went. I loved how it worked. Minister of Darkness is here and asks, where can I find Mr. Crocket? Mr. Crocket is streaming on Hulu. It's a Hulu exclusive. So I love, you know, one of the positives of, you know, all the negatives of streaming is that we've gotten like all these super interesting, like straight to streaming movies, you know, like that is the one benefit. That's been a benefit. And Mr. Crocket is what the fruits of that benefit, I would say. So Mr. Crocket, check it out. I gave it 3.5 stars and a heart on Letterboxd. Okay. And I'm excited. Listen, whatever this guy Brendan does next, like I'm on board, man. Like, give me some more, dude. Give me some more.